Okay. Welcome, everyone. In this episode, I've got Pamela with me, and Pamela's going to tell us about how to grow and attract an audience um, in a very, I guess, meaningful way and without any sort of hustle or drastic energy and that sort of thing. So, hi, welcome, Pamela.
Thanks, Lou. It's great to be here. What a great topic for the times that we live in, right?
Absolutely. So why don't we begin with you telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do for people?
That's a great question. We're right in the middle of a transition to actually teaching people to do what I have done, and that is build a multiple six-figure service-based business. And when I build a service-based business, I never run ads for that business.
Mm.
I've never run ads. I've barely done any social media, and it's just been through connecting with people. And I'd love to tell you that that was, the whole story. But it really is never the whole story, is it? When it comes to getting clients, it is a game. And it's a
Mhm.
game of how much do I really like myself, like what I'm doing, like the world, like money, like all of these things. Because they're so wrapped up in the identity of a service-based business owner. And until that switches from employee over to business owner, it's almost impossible to build a business. Well, I wish somebody would have told me that instead of spending $150,000 on courses for everybody that thought, make $10,000 in 2 days kind of stuff. I bought into it too because I never heard anyone or saw anyone crying or upset or frustrated or failing like crazy in public. Nobody does that.
Mm.
And I thought something was wrong with me. So it took a lot of work and a lot of money to find the answers. And I really was not prepared to build a business. I was still bringing my patriarchal, industrial age, all about education, being the smartest one in the room when it has nothing to do with owning a business, right? So
Yeah.
it took me a while to break through that. And then once I did, it was like, oh, it's like magic. And I remember the word and I remember people saying it's like magic and go, it is, but it really isn't. It's that ease that you were talking about, that energy. Once I really understood who I was and what I wanted to do and why I'm doing it, when
Mhm.
it does get really hard, it really just starts to happen. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Wow, absolutely. Yeah, and it's not just I wouldn't call it magic. I would say this is us being human. This is who we are.
Yeah,
There's no facades, there's no trickery. I mean,
right.
a lot of people feel like, oh, ads, they're so ugly and annoying, and I hate seeing them on my feed. Does that mean that if I want to use ads, I have to do it like that too?
Mm. It is such a great point what you said about magic. That was the only word or vocabulary I had to explain it at the time of what was really happening because I'd never been there before. So it was like one day struggle, next day not. And I was like, what is this? And it's exactly what you said, just energy and moving into me and selling and talking and interacting and putting out there the real me. And that's what attracted people. But until then, I didn't know a word for it. So I used the word magic.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so amazing. So, can you describe a little bit more what you mean by hustling?
Well, every movie, every TV show, every like even Disney, all the Christmas movies, if you look at the people who have made money or are the salespeople in those situations, all of them are the villains. All of them are hustling people, aren't they?
Mm.
They're trying to get a buck out of the guy's pocket or gal's pocket. And then let's put female owners and business people and rich people in there as well. And we don't relate to it. We don't
Mm.
want to be that person. But yet, those are the only examples that we've seen. And then in the marketing world, until just recently, that's what we hear as well. You've
Mhm.
got to do these, ice baths and get up at 4 o'clock 5 hour morning routine and then you don't work and you don't work and you don't work. And I'm like, or you don't stop, you don't stop, you don't stop. And I'm
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
well, okay, that makes no sense to me because what I know is Franklin D. Covey built us a planner, But Franklin D. Covey didn't have to work and think and do the things that you and I as female business owners have to do,
Hmm.
right? And the way that I need it to be. I can't do 30-minute slots all day, every damn day, and carry everything else, right? So we see it as that model. So we're like, well, I don't fit there. So then we just throw the baby out with the bathwater. But we really do need to work hard, and think hard. We need to
Hmm.
be creative. We need to do some things. And it's when you get to I'm going to use my favorite word, magic, you're going to realize it's not about the hard work, but you're going to need to do that to get there. And it doesn't mean hours. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the thinking work.
Hmm.
I'm talking about, what do you think is true? What do you believe is true? What is it that you have a pattern and a pathology that needs to be broken down? How are you going to get there if you're not willing to sit with yourself and do the hard work? I'm
Hmm.
not talking about shoveling pig manure like I used to do as a child and throwing bales. Like, I'm strong because of it, but it's a hell of a way to do it. But
Hmm.
you build a business, and yes, you're going to have to do this work. It's a hell of a way to do it, but you'll get there. You'll force yourself to, or you can sit down and you can do the hard work. So it doesn't need to be hustle.
Hmm.
It actually can be very clear. You sell, you systematize, and you serve. That's it. And everything else in your calendar needs to come off. All of the stuff that we're doing, all of the things like all the administrative work, we usually put that first. So
Hmm.
it's very easy to build a business. But if you don't have sales and you don't understand how business works, what's going to happen, Lou, is you're going to end up in the admin side, and it's going to feel like all you do is work when
Hmm.
you actually are just working on the wrong things. Who are you administrating for? What are you administrating? I've got 40 funnels I never launched, right? So
Yeah.
we don't have to hustle
Yeah.
at all, but we will, because here's the truth. Many of us overwork, overeat, over Netflix, but
Hmm.
I'm going to talk about overworking because you might be able to notice it in the overeating because that's something I've had to deal with. But in
Yeah.
overworking, my number one question is this: what is it that you are avoiding? What are you avoiding? Because you do not need to work that hard. And I am calling myself out and every other woman on this call. Many times it's our relationships, it's our children, it's our home, it's our we are avoiding something by
Hmm.
not slowing down. Because if we overwork, we don't have to slow down and face what's there. So it's a lot of that as well. And now, who would have thought that this is what we talk about when it comes to business,
Hmm.
right? But I know that's what's going on because there is an easier way. And you and I both know it because if we're talking to a woman, I know she has a skill set of how to get shit done.
Hmm.
And she's not doing the same thing with meal prep that she's doing in her business,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So, what's going on over here? What are we avoiding? What needs to be looked?
That is wonderful. And I fully agree. Um, yeah, we get so trapped in this way of thinking like we have to do things a certain way. And in your email to me, you mentioned like, you know, building an audience and reaching people. To some people, that means posting nonstop or putting ads in thousands of people's faces. If that's not what we should be doing, can you tell us, like, in a more tangible way, what the alternative looks like?
Having conversations with people. So I speak to service-based business owners, but it doesn't matter if you're a coach, it doesn't matter what you're doing, real estate, etc. It's all in conversations. So we need to get in front of the people and we need the closest proximity to them. So think of the internet, it's vast and like there's a big gap, right? In the trust, in the reach, etc.
Hmm.
And then you think about in on a social media platform like Instagram or LinkedIn, still a little bit of distance, but we're a little bit closer. And then if you think about introductions, referrals, things like that, those are a little bit closer. And then in person is the closest.
Yeah.
Walk into networking meetings in your city and you can do them online. I sit in Mexico and I'm a Canadian and I can still get on BNI meetings in every city
Uh-huh.
in Canada on virtual at least twice before I have to purchase. So I know that I can get close to people and build relationships with people. So we're scared to do that. We've got this idea of all of this shit made up in our head about what what? I don't know what yours is, but we've all got a few.
Mm.
And if we're going to build a business, we need to we need to go sell. We need to go talk to people.
Yeah.
So that's why all the admin work is happening because we don't want to go talk to people. So the
Mm.
fastest way to do that is talking to people. Then what you do is you start running ads, but only after you've spoken to enough people that you understand the real problem so that
Mhm.
it can then be heard and you've got enough credibility in what you do that it can reach them and speak to them. And that's going to cost you right now, it's $6 to $10 a lead for a lead magnet. For a lead magnet.
Wow.
I remember dollar days. I
Yeah,
remember dollar
yeah.
leads, right?
Yep.
27 cents a lead. Forget it. It's B2B space in my space right now because I'm moving over to coaching. So I am building up for a webinar and I need the leads, right? That's what we're looking at. But I'm still every day on LinkedIn talking to people and reaching out to people every single day.
Mm.
Reaching freelancers on LinkedIn. If you're a freelancer, you get on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
It is the most powerful platform for us because they're still talking business over there. Little
Mm.
bit crazier in Instagram DMs. People get a little bit because they're getting in the DMs, right? But if
Mm.
you comment and build a relationship, it's going to be magical because
Mhm.
even if you spend a couple hours a week, you will be way further ahead. And if you've got a decent offer, you don't need more than a couple leads a day,
Yeah, that's it.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. This is like, I think this is what people are missing. Like nobody, nobody likes to be advertised to, but we all really love it and we feel it when we're connected with someone. Like that feels good.
You
That
know,
feels
I'm a
good.
little,
That feels better than having an ad shoved in our face.
you know what? I love ads. Because I'm actively looking for something. And the moment I go to a page, I want them to feed me more ads because
Mm.
I didn't know that person existed. And then I'm going to go to the website. I'm going to check them out. My husband's going to check the reviews. And then I'm going to go, hey, okay, let me buy one from you and see what my experience is. I want ads all day long because I'm a consumer. I'm looking to better my life and better my business and better my home and better my family and better my relationships. Aren't we always? But
Yeah.
when we are not solid in who we are, Lou, we don't want anyone coming to us because, oh my God, we're abdicating responsibility to that person. And we think that that person should know better than to come near us versus we know who we are and what we want and what we do and what we don't do and what our values are and what we need. And then we can simply say, no, thank you, just like coffee in a restaurant.
Yep.
But when we've got that big of a red flag as a business owner that we don't want ads, that tells me we've got a business owner that doesn't have any goddamn values and understanding of who they are and what they stand for. Because why would you not, when you walk in a store, want Campbell's and Knorr and all the soup brands there? Would oh, don't give me those. Don't give me those because I don't want that in my feed. But you walked into the store, but you're doing the same on Facebook. Facebook is free. Why are you not mad at the grocery store for giving you libbies? But we're not, are we? Because we feel more in charge there. We know
Mm.
what we're going in for. We know what we
Mhm.
want, and we can slowly walk by the soups and be fine.
Mhm.
But online, we get worked up, and it's because we've got a very toxic relationship with selling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Fucking mic drop. That's what's going on there. Anytime I hear a woman say that to me, I am, how fucking fragile are you? What is wrong? What is going on? Why can you
Mhm.
not scroll past it or shut the fucking thing down? Don't walk in the grocery store. I am a business owner and I need to sell and I need to be profitable, and so does Facebook,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? It's capitalism. It's a free world. I would love to be that business on some days. You know what? Some days I wouldn't want the thing. Do you have any idea how much hassle and how much goes on over there? You don't even want a business that big. You
Yeah.
don't because you couldn't handle it. If you can't handle an ad coming through your feed, you cannot handle a business. You
Exactly.
can't, right? It's strong, but it's the truth, no?
Hmm.
If an ad that is nothing but a picture comes through your feed and works you up that much, you need to go get a job because you won't be able to manage business.
Mm,
Because every day, if you're easily offended, you are easily manipulated.
mm,
And that's why they don't want them coming through their feed because they're easily manipulated and they know they're going to fall for some more stuff and they don't trust themselves. That's what's
mm.
going on. But
Yeah.
you trust yourself and you know who you are and what you need and where you're going. Those ads don't bother me in the least. And some days I go on, I was looking for jewelry the other day. We were looking for non-toxic dishwater stuff. And we go to the sites. I go again, go to this one because somebody's going to be running ads.
Hmm.
Somebody's got a pixel. Pray to Jesus that we can get these coming through our feed and then we have more choices. That's a different thing, isn't it?
Yep.
It's a
Yep.
whole different energy. I'm a business owner. I'm going to feed you ads because I believe that what I have can change your life. If it's for you, fantastic. Would you like coffee? No, thank you. Would you like coffee? No, thank you. Would you like coffee? No, thank you. I'm good with no, thank you.
Mhm.
But that's what's really going on. That's strong, but that's what's going on.
Absolutely. I agree. Now, I want to come back to something you said about going to people and seeing people in person and having conversations. One thing that I've noticed that business owners are missing is that they're trying to sell what they think the person wants, but not
Yeah,
actually what they want. In
right.
order to understand what the person actually wants, you have to have conversations, which is
You have,
why you can't just go ads out of the gate, fresh business.
and you can't go to ChatGPT either.
No.
You have to go to your own client. And I did this when I started the coaching arm of my business in December. I did 20 interviews and I took 726 pages of transcripts
Whoa.
and put it into ChatGPT and said, here's what's going on. Then we got somewhere.
Mm.
And it was very powerful. Then I ran Facebook ads with problem statements, 40 problem statements. I ran $100 a day. I needed a cost per click under 2% or a click-through rate 2, and I needed 500 impressions. Once it was, shut it off. And then I knew what problem statements from those interviews, I got that data so fast. I couldn't have got that data that fast. Then I went with what's a lead magnet idea? What's the lead magnet title? And I did the same thing. Oh, it cost me $400 to get all of the information. And I found out they don't know how to scale, right? And then I am now working through it again because I'm going to run a webinar and I'm trying to drill it down in my own head because we can get fancy with it, right? So it's very important that we have outside counsel of some type to help us with it. So ChatGPT can only take it so far. You've got to have the interviews, and then you need somebody who's really good at marketing to help. So I like to think I'm a marketer. And today I actually went into my coach and said, what about this and this? And I said, I know it sounds frilly. I said, I know I'm not there, but tell me what it is. And she boiled it down to one sentence. Your clients hate their clients
Well,
because they're undercharging, they're over delivering, it's full of scope creep, and they want to burn their business to the ground because they don't know how to fix it. What? I had something frilly said. I knew that, but I thought it was too simple. It was like I had to take myself back to my time when I hated my everybody, and I did burn my business to the ground because I had no other option. I lost $100,000 probably,
mm,
because I didn't know what to do. So it's important to understand the client. We get all up in our head about it, and we think it's this because we've either already passed through it, so we've forgotten what we really went through, or we never really understood it to begin with. And that's okay.
mhm,
Go and talk to clients. Go and talk to clients. Go and talk to clients. That's the only advice anyone should ever give anyone today before you start to do any program, any course, anything, because you
mhm,
cannot sell it unless you talk to the client.
mhm. Amen.
Amen, right?
Absolutely. Oh, that is so beautiful.
We're having a truth session. Hey?
We are. Okay. So why is it that it's important that we talk about this?
Because my motto is great things happen when women have money. So the greatest, fastest, easiest, most magnificent way to do that is for a woman to start a business.
Mm,
And it's going to cost her time, energy, and money. And if she follows Bob on the internet and Bob tries to tell her that this is the way to do it, and it's a $15,000 program, and she has no idea what problem she solves or for who yet, she's going to spend that money. And that
yeah.
could be her one kick at the can,
Mm,
right? Does everybody have 15 grand laying around?
I
No.
don't think so.
No, but we will find it, grab it. I $150,000. I'm even thinking it's closer to 250 today that I have spent on things that I thought for sure were going to work,
Mm,
but I had not talked to my client. Now, there are other problems I had, like not following through, not continuing. I get a little bit of data. My mind says it's not working, so I quit. That's a different game. You got to get in the game to understand the next stage of the game, right?
mhm,
That
mhm.
happens next. But how much money I spent on programs and courses and had never interviewed anyone, had never talked to anyone, no wonder it didn't sell.
Yeah.
And today you cannot sell unless you speak exactly to the client with the exact same problem and in a new way than they've ever heard it before.
Hmm.
So it's like Atkins diet became keto, became bulletproof coffee, that's exactly the same diet, but they had to say it differently. We must say the same thing differently today. And that's the hard work. That's the thinking work. It'll split your brain open sitting here going, what's the offer? And I'm right in the middle of it right now. Oh my God, it's a lot of thinking work. And it's because I'm trying to force it. I need to get up from my desk and walk away. I need to go do something else. So I started painting, right? I never painted before in my life, but I need the space. There's not enough space away from the computer.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true. Yeah. I really appreciate this conversation. It's very meaningful and very important. And we do have to, I think, do a bit of reprogramming in ourselves because times are changing, ads are
Yes.
changing. Before we started recording this episode, you were saying that people were treating ads like a ATM machine in their basement,
Oh,
an
yeah.
ATM in their basement, a money printer. Even Google ads were like that too, a couple of years ago. But times are different now. We need to
Are they
adjust.
ever? They really are, but people are still selling that same dream.
Mm,
And they probably built their businesses then.
mm,
And that's why they don't know how hard it is out there right now. And they're the ones that are bamboozling people. I want to talk to people who are doing it right now. What have you seen yesterday, last month? It's very different time post COVID. And then with AI, everything is it's just nonsense.
mm,
So if you really want to help someone, find a group of people that you love, that you would sit down on a Friday afternoon, have a coffee with or a glass of wine with. Who would you want to talk to? Because you're going to be talking to those people a lot.
mm,
And then find out what problems you can solve. Because there's lots of problems they have, but what problem can you solve specifically? So
mm,
for me, it's always in helping them find and manage clients. Always. That's what I'm really good at. But I'm going to call it this time revenue reclaimed.
mm,
We're going to reclaim the revenue that you keep giving away in your shitty offer, in your scope creep, in your never ever asking for another offer or any recurring or any retainer or any refer. You know, it's just come. I hate you. Get out of here and go. So much money is being left. So much money
Yeah.
is being left on the table. So I'm working in that right now. Well, that's a very different way. I'm not saying how to make $10,000 in 3 weeks. I could say that because we're doing the exact same damn thing. But we're going to go in and we're going to reclaim some stuff first. We're going to reclaim you and reclaim your time and reclaim your offer and reclaim your mind and reclaim your revenue and reclaim your goddamn life, right?
Yeah.
So it's very different. And I'm walking in it now. The offer could change tomorrow because I'm still working in it. But it's taken me a month already to sit in this and figure this out. It's a big
Mm,
deal. It's because your offer won't sell anyway.
mm,
It won't sell. It won't sell. No matter what anyone is telling you, it will not sell. If it's scrolling through your feed and you feel irritated by an ad, it's obviously not talking to you.
hmm
Because if I see something that said your clients suck or something like that, right? I'll go, oh, who the hell is that? What that? Yeah, actually, right now I've got Bob and he's driving me crazy. That's how the ads have to hit,
hmm
right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Amazing. This has been so good, Pamela. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would love to wrap up here, but before we do that, could you let us know if somebody wants to continue having this conversation with you, or maybe they'd like to experience some magic? How can they do that with you?
So you can always find out what I'm up to on my website called theclientcoach.com.
Mm.
And you can find me around the internet, but that's probably the best place to find me. And then from there, you can find out everything that I'm up to.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have you on here.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. Great conversation. I got a bit worked up there. It's so exciting. Thank you for the space to do that.